Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Fellowship of Spirit Zoom meeting coming to you from Farmington, New Mexico on this beautiful Sunday, Father's Day, June 20th. And we welcome you and hope that you will enjoy the meeting. We have an exciting program for us today. Margaret Cheesebro and Steve Barker will be providing our music. Steve will be doing our spiritual reading. And is that right?
No.
We did it last week.
The spiritual reading? Okay, Jenny is gonna, you guys switched.
Well, somebody,
We switched.
yeah, I didn't realize we switched. I'm sorry.
Okay, so there will
I
be,
can read this that I got.
okay, well, that'll be fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, and Mark Wolf will be bringing us our main message from Western Kentucky, and we love Mark and are looking forward to his talk. So, Margaret, would you offer us a prayer, please?
Thank you, God. Ever expanding, ever extending, unconditional love. Thank you for being here with us and help us to be able to calm our minds and hearts that we may hear that message that we need to hear to move our lives forward. In the spirit of Christ consciousness, amen.
Thank you very much. We're going to talk about it twice because I want to announce it twice because tomorrow is our solstice celebration. We're getting together with everyone at the Kiwanis Park here on 30th Street to have a dinner together and to have some music provided and just a good time just to get together. There will be no talk or anything. We'll just have Fred Brown is going to come and do our stuff, and it's going to be a potluck. And Jerry, did you have something you wanted to say about it?
Yes, it is a potluck. The church is providing the plates and silverware, and we'll have tea and lemonade. If you need something else to drink besides that, you should bring it. But there will be plenty of tea and lemonade and water. Jim is going to fire up the barbecue grill because he's going to be cooking some stuff. So if you have something you would like to cook on the barbecue grill, you're welcome to use it, but you do your own cooking. Nobody's going to be there to cook for you. So if you choose to do that, that would be fine also. We're going to gather up at 4 to start getting ready. We figure everybody will show up about 4:45 so we can have a meet and greet ahead of time. And we hope to see you all there. It'll be wonderful to see people again.
We have the park reserved from 5 until 8, is that correct?
4 till 8.
From 4 until 8, so we have plenty of time.
And it is Kiwanis Park on 30th Street.
Just where we've had it for the last few years. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, Margaret, are you ready to tickle the ivories for us?
Yes.
Mark, can you share sorry. Ron, can you share the,
I'm doing it.
okay.
How about that?
That works. Test, test, test.
Are you ready, Steve?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay.
Sweet spirit. Oop. I'm supposed to wait. There's a sweet, sweet spirit in this place, and I know that it's the spirit of the Lord.
sweet expressions on each face, and I know that's the Spirit of the Lord. Sweet Holy Spirit, sweet heavenly dove, stay right here with us, filling us with your love. And for these blessings, we lift our hearts in praise. Without a doubt, we'll know we've been revived when we leave this place.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Beautiful.
I wish I could have yesterday.
Okay. So, Steve, do you have a reading you want to do?
No, yeah, okay. Okay. This was not prepared for today, but I carry it by default. And this is from Science of Mind Daily Thoughts. And this is for today, Sunday. And it's called Come Down from the Tree. Here's the first quote. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. And that's from Romans 12, chapter 2. We should venture forth into the life of action with will to do, the determination and to be, and a joy in becoming. And that's from Ernest Holmes. As a boy, I hid from the world among the arching branches of an old mimosa tree in my front yard. I developed a fondness for biographies and would bring these stories high above. I would sit with Walt Disney, Harriet Tubman, George Washington Carver, Helen Keller, and even Abraham Lincoln. We communed together above my volatile household. I could escape into these lies and see examples of faith and perseverance. Up in the tree, I began to cultivate beliefs of something beyond my Southeast Texas existence. But then I came back down, and those expansive thoughts would start to narrow. Scriptures often reference pilgrimage as the allegorical framework for reawakening. Prophets and sages climbed to the mountaintops where they reunited with God. The metaphor of this mountaintop is where we have an ascension in consciousness. This ascended state is really our holy reunion. It is here that we realize we've never been separate from the harmony of creation. And yet there's even more value to the journey. Can we sustain the bliss of our holy reunion in the everyday world? The holy mandate to be in the world, but not of it, is the journey of embodiment. In Living the Science of Mind, Holmes encouraged, we need to know with scientific certainty that there is a consciousness and a power in the universe that responds to us definitely and directly and dynamically. How will we fulfill this need to know? Through devoted application, the bliss and peace revealed in the holy reunion isn't reserved for the mountaintop or the comfort of the tree. Humanity becomes our laboratory, and it is here that we begin the shaking of our slumbering selves from the restraints of inherited fear. The affirmation for today is, I live in holy reunion with God.
Thank you, Steve. Absolutely beautiful and absolutely apropos. Thank you very much. Today we have brother Mark Wolf, and Mark has got a long and reputable and a renowned biography. But all of us here, we know him and love him already. I don't think we need much introduction for Brother Mark Wolf. So, Mark, it's all yours.
It is.
Let's welcome Mark, okay?
You all are way too nice. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good morning. Morning, everybody. And this is a wonderful day, isn't it? You know, it's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And also the summer solstice. And so happy solstice, everyone. It is certainly a time of light and a time of blessing. You know, so on the summer solstice that we start to see the light turning back to darkness. And on the winter solstice, we start to see the darkness turning back to light. And so I thought it'd be an interesting idea today if we could explore the idea of changing darkness into light. See, changing darkness into light, that's our job in this world, all right? See, everything in the world has a job, all right? The trees take the sunlight and the carbon dioxide, they change that into oxygen, and the bees take pollen and turn it into honey. I mean, how amazing is that? Everything in the world has a job. Cows, seriously, cows stand out in the field and eat grass and turn grass into milk. I mean, who thought of that? But our job is to take the darkness and turn it into light, because that's something that no other creature can do. You know, think about that for a second. The birds and the bees, the cows and the trees cannot take spiritual darkness and transform it into light. All right, only we can do that, and it's our job. Even listen. Even the angels cannot turn darkness into light. Even the Creator will not change the darkness into light until we give the word. You see, it's an astounding authority that we've been given, but it's a power, it's a responsibility that's uniquely ours, and it's our job. Okay, listen to the story. You know, a lot of you know that I enjoy sharing things on Facebook and social media. My son says that only old people use Facebook. So I know, seriously. So it's no surprise that that's what I use. But I have a lot of friends on Facebook who are angry with God. Okay, they are angry with the Bible. They are angry with the very idea of faith. And I understand. Okay, I get it. Because they were taught, well, I guess we were all taught nonsensical stories, and we were told the stories were literally true and that we better believe them or else. They were taught, I guess we were all taught, that the Bible is science. It's not. That the Bible is history. Not really. And if we didn't believe that we were threatened with punishment. All right. And so, and something inside of them, something inside of my angry friends, and something inside of all of us knew better. Okay. Prime example. This is my favorite example. All right. The talking snake. The talking snake. There's so many layers of meaning here. There's so much hidden wisdom that we could study this chapter of Genesis for years and not be done. But today we're just going to look at a couple of ideas. The serpent, all right? The serpent is supposedly cursed for his role in the whole forbidden fruit fiasco. All right, Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. It says, upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Okay, listen to that phrase. Listen. Dust shalt thou eat. Okay, now this is a huge clue right here that says saying, don't take this story literally. Okay, question, do snakes eat dust? I knew this when I was 8 years old, but I knew better than to say anything. No, snakes don't eat dust. What do snakes eat? Snakes eat frogs and mice and rats, stuff like that, but not dust. Number one, not dust. And number two, our world is full of dust. All right, New Mexico full of dust? Like New Mexico is dust central, right? And so if the serpent is supposedly cursed to eat dust, well, he's got plenty to eat. All right. Some curse. He's got plenty to eat. The serpent is cursed to have plenty to eat, and there will be people who go to bed hungry tonight. So how are we going to make sense out of this? Here's the clue. Here's the clue. It's in verse 19. Dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. Right? This was spoken to Adam, and remember that Adam represents all of humankind as one united soul. So now let's put the two together. Let's put the two together, and then the real curse emerges. Okay, listen. The serpent, representing the dark angel, is told, dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Adam, being all of humanity as one united soul, is told, dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. Now, listen, put the two of them together, and the real meaning starts to emerge. Okay, listen, in the story, God says, Adam, look, for your part in the forbidden fruit fiasco, buddy, you're dust. Serpent, for your part in this, you will be nourished on dust. So here's what it means. Dark angel, because Adam has listened to your words and tasted your fruit, you are now part of Adam. Okay? From henceforth, you'll be known as Adam's ego. And through you, Adam will see the world in fragmentation. You will continue, here's the real curse. You will continue to be Adam's ego until Adam has the strength to return you to the light. Adam, you will gain that strength by finding the hidden place where the serpent hides and choosing light over darkness. And so the serpent, the dark angel, became part of each one of us. It's now our job to find the places where the serpent hides and turn that darkness back into light. A job that nothing else can do, only us. See, when we collectively chose to experience the fragmentation of knowledge over the connection to the one light, then all of creation took a step back from the Creator. That's really the fall of man. That's all it means. It just means that all of creation took a step back away from the Creator, and now all of creation is waiting for us to take the step back. What that means is that when we heal ourselves, we heal creation. Okay? When we change ourselves, we change the world. A thing now, listen, a thing that we need to understand is this, they're not going to tell you this anywhere else. The thing we need to understand is that the tree of knowledge of good and evil, okay, that whole thing, the tree of knowledge of good and evil was not evil. The tree of knowledge of good and evil was not wrong, nor was it sinful. It was created by the Creator. The tree of knowledge of good and evil was a perfect part of the creation. Now, I know that it gets a bad rap because of the forbidden fruit fiasco, but we need to realize that this tree was a perfect part of the Creator's plan. It was forbidden, but that gave us the opportunity to choose. It was forbidden, but not because it was evil, but rather because we were not ready for it. All right? We were given the tree of life. Tree of life is easy. Tree of life is all about sunshine and warmth and sweetness. Tree of life was never-ending light and life and happiness and togetherness. But the tree of knowledge would have been given to us in time. You realize that? See, the churches out there are not going to tell you that. The tree of knowledge would have been given to us when we were ready for it. Okay, I have to tell you this story. Speaking of, I have to tell you this story. This is Father's Day, so I have to tell you this story. I remember when my dad was stationed in West Germany in 1962 and 63. I've been waiting to tell you this story. And while in Germany, he bought this beautiful German clock and had it shipped to us stateside. The clock was the rim of the clock and the base were bright brass, and it had big brass hands to tell you the time. The clock face was white, and it had a map of the world in gold. And where the major cities of the world were located, there were little clocks to tell you the time in that city. I mean, this was a marvel of engineering. So there's a little clock in Tokyo, and there's a little clock in Moscow, and there's a little clock in London, and a little clock in New York City. You get the idea. So, you know, so if you wake up in the middle of the night, you think, I wonder what time it is in Oslo. You just look at the clock, and there it is. You know, I mean, seriously, this clock was a marvel of German engineering. It was a marvel of artistry. Well, my brother decided he wanted to know how that clock worked. Just what made it tick. So don't ask how I know this. He took it into the bedroom and popped the back off of it. All right. And the inside, don't ask how I know, but the inside was packed with bright brass gears. And he proceeded to unpack them. And after a short time, it didn't take long. After a short time, he's got a pile of beautiful bright brass gears on the floor. And at the point in time, he thought, well, you should probably just put that clock back together. Put the back on it before anybody noticed that it was gone. And that was the point at which he realized he had no idea whatsoever how to put the clock back together. So he put the clock and all the beautiful bright brass gears into a box and shoved it under the bed. Clock? What clock? Oh, that clock? Why is it missing? I haven't seen it in a couple of days. And where there had stood a beautiful piece of craftsmanship, this miracle of analog engineering, there was now only a box filled with parts and pieces and fragments that just didn't fit together anymore. And they never did. And that's exactly what happened to us in the whole Garden of Eden thing. We had the tree of life. Everything was unity and harmony, and it worked together in astonishing ways. And everything was right. It was all in perfect harmony. And the dark angel came and said, wow, knowledge. Wouldn't that be amazing? Knowledge. Wow. God has knowledge. You could be like God. You could have knowledge. Well, I'll bet God would like that. Same thing. You'd like to know how that clock works, wouldn't you? Wow. The inside of that must be full of gears, but too bad you can't see them. Well, Daddy wouldn't mind. He'd probably be proud of it. He'd probably like to know how the clock works too. Why don't you just pop the back off of it and we'll just take a look. You could put it back together. Nobody would ever notice. And so now in our world, we see the fragmentation and all the parts that used to fit together so beautifully, they don't seem to fit so well anymore. And nobody seems to know what to do or how to get the parts back together again until now. Now listen, the dark angel became our ego. The serpent came to hide within each of us, and it's our job now to find where the serpent hides and turn that darkness and lift that darkness back into the light. Now, I've heard teachers say that we must destroy the ego. Well, that's the biggest ego trip of all, because we have to rip the ego out by the roots and throw it into the ocean. We must slay the ego. That's nonsense. All right. We don't need to destroy it. It's not even possible to destroy it. All we can do is transform it into light. To turn the darkness into light. That's our job. And at the same time, it's the job of the dark angel to keep us in darkness, because remember, the dark angel feeds on the darkness that we provide. So in order to get food, the dark angel says to us, tempts us, says, ooh, look over there. Look at those people over there. Wow. I hate those people. Look at them. Well, they're in our neighborhood. They're in our schools. They're in our churches. They're taking our jobs, particularly the ones we didn't want in the first place, and they're taking them. Look at that. And the dark angel gets food. Okay? And we defend the dark angel because we want to be right. And we want to be right so bad that we defend that ego. Because of course we're right. And yet judgment and hatred and bigotry and resentment and anger provide a feast for the dark angel. And the light that should belong to us to bless us, and the light that should belong to us to share with the world, goes for food to the dark angel, and we wonder why the world is in chaos. You see, tell you something. Mainstream churches this morning, they like to talk about Satan. Well, could it be Satan? But they miss the point. Okay, they missed the point. It's a Hebrew word, Satan. You spell it Samach, Tet, Nun, Satan. It has many meanings, but the best and the clearest meaning is simply adversary. And providing us with an adversary, provide us with resistance, we gain the strength that we require to lift that darkness back into the light. Now listen, how do you strengthen a muscle? Well, you sit in the chair quietly, right? Ooh, I wish it worked that way. No, you strengthen the muscle by overcoming resistance, by lifting the weight. Now, I'll tell you something, that weight does not want to be lifted. Okay, but you work the muscle, you overcome the resistance, because working it makes it strong. And the adversary gives us the opportunity to become strong, not by destroying him, because that's not possible. Not by fighting him, because we'll never win. We only can do our job to find the places where the serpent hides and lift that weight into and turn it into light, to transform the darkness into light. We take the opportunities that the adversary gives us, that the dark angel gives us. We take the opportunity that ego gives us and transform those opportunities into light, and we gain the strength that we need, and we will win. See, all of creation is waiting for us to do our job, to make the transformation that only we can do. Now, I'm going to give you two very powerful tools. All right, the powerful tools that make the dark angel tremble. It's true. Two very powerful tools that are revealed in the Bible. Tool number one is in a place that nobody would ever think to look. That's the beauty of it. All right, 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 3. Jot that down. 1 Samuel 12:3, and the prophet Samuel says, "Here I am, witness against me before the Lord and before his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Or whose donkey have I stolen? Or whom have I defrauded? Or whom have I oppressed? Or of whose hands have I taken a bribe to blind my eyes. I will restore it to you. Samuel the prophet spoke these words to the people of Israel and in the presence of the newly crowned king, Shaul Melech, King Saul. But to use these words as a tool to transform the darkness into light, you start with a very special and incredibly simple and powerful prayer. A prayer that will begin to take the light away from the dark angel so that everything is lifted up. All right, here it is. Here it is. Please, Heavenly Father, show me my ego. Heavenly Father, show it to me. Show me my ego. Where does the darkness hide so that I can transform it? Okay, just that simple. The light, show me my ego. You see, the crazy thing is that we do this for ourselves. We do this for each other all the time. Because, well, you know, we're a mirror for each other. What does that mean? It means we are a mirror. We show each other our egos. Our family will show us our ego. Didn't know that, did you? Our kids will show us our ego. If that's not enough, our coworkers will show us our ego. Our customers will show us our ego. Our neighbors will show us our ego. That's why they make us mad. Because we don't like it when they show us our ego. Now, did you hear that last statement? They don't like it. We don't like it when they show us our ego. We don't like it when they show us where our serpent is hiding. And that's exactly the reason why our ego is being shoved on our faces all day. But the difference, see, listen, the difference is that when we pray from our hearts and we say, please, God, show me my ego, I want to see it. The difference is that now we're ready to listen. Okay, now we're ready to do our job, to grow up, to do our job and transform that darkness into spiritual light. And the beauty of it, indeed, the miracle of it is that once we're ready to listen, once we're ready to see it, please show it to me. And we're ready to see it, then the lessons that life comes to present us with all of a sudden become much more merciful. See, as soon as we're ready to transform, there's no need to shove the lessons in our faces anymore. You don't need to do that because I'm asking to see it. I did this process. When I first started the process, I treated it kind of like a 12-step program. And I went to the people that I had been rude to or unkind to. And I found the people where I had unresolved conflict. And many of them, I wrote letters to them. And I asked for forgiveness for being rude or arrogant or unkind. I asked for resolution for misunderstanding. And there's some people I had to search for several years. Some of them I never have yet to find, and some were deceased. But everybody where I was able, I made amends and made things right. Please, God, show me my ego. I want to transform. And it has been an amazing and a wonderful and an astounding process. Please, God, show me my ego. You show it to me. And this is a tool that is shared with us by Samuel the prophet. The second tool is hidden in plain sight. That's the best kind. It's hidden in plain sight. And once I show it to you, you can never unsee it. It's one of those. It's hidden so well, and yet it's so obvious that I saw it and it made me laugh. So let's go back to Genesis chapter 3 and ask a question, okay? Because we're supposed to ask questions. Two of the main elements in the story in Genesis, two of the main elements were the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. So the question that we're never allowed to ask is, why were they both trees? Why were they trees? It's a parable, right? They could have been anything. They could have been rocks, the rock of life and the rock of knowledge. Could have been anything. They could have been flowers. They could have been bushes. They could have been cows. Of all the cows, you can hear it. Of all the cows in the garden, you may drink their milk, but the cow of the knowledge of good and evil, you must not drink its milk. I mean, I can hear it, because of the cow of knowledge of good and evil. But they were trees. Okay, they were trees, and that's where we find the hidden formula that changes darkness into light. The tool that defeats the dark angel by lifting him up, by lifting that weight into light. Now, quick physics lesson. Physical matter has the attribute of gravity. We cool with that? Okay, gravity is the attribute where physical matter always wants to pull more physical matter to itself. Okay, that's why things fall down. that's why things don't float off the earth, because the earth has gravity, and the earth's gravity holds us to the surface and does not want to let us go. But gravity is simply the physical manifestation of a spiritual principle. Okay, that spiritual principle is called selfishness. All right, it's called receiving for ourselves alone. Okay, for example, it's my money. I'm not going to share any of it with you. It's my time, and I'm not going to give you any. It's my knowledge. It's my life. It's my pleasure, and it's all just for me. You see, when we live our lives like that, then we become under a law of spiritual gravity. When we are receiving for ourselves alone, we come under a law of spiritual gravity, and we will never be able to elevate spiritually. So here's the thing. Trees defy gravity. Trees reach for the light and grow straight up in spite of gravity. Trees resist gravity. They resist the desire of the earth to receive for itself alone. And there's the tool that's hidden in plain sight. We have to imitate the trees. How do you do that? Desire the light of God above all things. Resist the desire to receive for ourselves alone. Instead, how do you do that? Okay, instead, we're constantly asking, how can I share? In this moment, in this situation, how can I share? What can I give? How can I help? What else can I do? How can I share? And you know what? The rabbi from Nazareth, remember the rabbi from Nazareth? He talked about this. He talked about this very thing. Jot down Matthew 25. He says, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. Okay? In other words, you shared with me. You had food and you gave me some. You had something to drink and you gave me some. You had a place to live and you took me in when I didn't have a place. Okay? You had something good and you chose to share it. It would have been easier to keep it for yourself, but you chose to share it. Okay? Matthew 25. In choosing to share, we transform the darkness into light. When we ask the light to show us our ego, to show us our darkness, then we begin to transform it. We reach for the light and we resist the gravity of receiving for ourselves alone. We're changing the darkness into light. It's a job that only we can do. The angels cannot do it. The Creator waits for us. That's our power. Only we can take the spiritual darkness within ourselves. Only we can find where the serpent hides and bring it to light. That's how we heal the earth. That's how we repair the fragmentation, put the clock back together. That's how we bring peace into our own lives and families. It's the darkness of ego that prevents those blessings. Okay, it is a darkness of ego waiting to be transformed. El na rifanala. We have an extraordinary power that is placed in our hands, and that's a joyful and wonderful thing. And thank you all. Thank you all for this opportunity to be here with you this morning and share this with you. God bless.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Welcome.
Here we go. I'm back. Thank you very much. Let me put Mark back up there. Does anyone have anything that they would like to share with Mark or ask any questions? Now's the time. While Jerry's coming up here, I will let you know, as happens so often, our Sunday morning book study goes hand in hand with the sermon. Even though you were far away, totally disconnected, we did not collaborate whatever on the message. Today we were reading Jane Roberts' what is it? The nature of personal reality, and he was talking about looking at ourselves honestly and being able to look at our egos, and that's what is necessary for transformation. And so it was neat. It went right along with your talk. Go ahead, Jerry.
Mark, I love your delivery. I love the fact that you make references to the Bible quotes and explain them. I love the fact that you help me remember that sharing is the important part of all of that. Not just what we have, but of ourselves, our love, our compassion, our camaraderie for the rest of the world, for those of us that we have in the past maybe deemed not worthy of it by our own judgment. And I thank you so much for that. But you have such a wonderful delivery. You actually seem like you're right here in the sanctuary with us. So thank you for that. And thank you for your words of wisdom. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Mark, I love how you make the allegory of the tree of life seem more of a learning thing than a big don't go here type thing.
Right, seriously.
You know, and the way that you humanize the Bible to make it seem, rather than something to bludgeon everybody else with, something for us to take personally. And like Jerry, your delivery is just spot on. So I'll always be your student. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I got something. Wait
Go
a
ahead,
minute.
Lily.
I have a video too here somewhere. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Mark, I'd like to really thank you for the tools. They're simple, they're straightforward, they're easy to remember, and hopefully, well, easier to remember than to apply probably, you know. But you made it to where it's hands-on right here, very sound and doable. Even if I do it for 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes more than I had before. So thank you, and bless you, and bless everybody in this group, as well as universally, and happy Father's Day to everybody. Oops.
Anyone else? Okay, Jim's coming up to the to the microphone. And
Hey, Mark, good to see you.
Hey, there you are.
There I am. No matter where I go, there I am.
Funny that way, ain't it?
I think the important thing that you brought out and people need to understand, and it's not taught in the mainstream churches, obviously, is that that great Satan is internal. It's not something out there tempting you. It's inside of each and every one of us. That's where we have to look for it, not outside.
Yeah.
If you look outside of yourself, you're never going to see it, never going to find it. It's inside. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there, but that's an important difference to me. And a lot of mainstream churches teach that it's all outside,
That's
external.
out there somewhere. You need to go chase it.
Yes, and you're on a wild goose chase.
Yes. That's right. Because the creator said, let's make it simple. It'll be right here. You don't have to go anywhere. It's right here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that in there. Thanks for the talk. It was great.
yeah. Also that, whatever we fight becomes stronger. So go fight Satan, and Satan becomes stronger. We can declare war on it, and it will become really strong. That's true. It takes, and those things like Lily was talking and pointing out, that this is a skill to look at ourselves and honestly be able to assess ourselves. And the more that we do it, the better we become at it. It's not something that comes easily, and we have to put some effort into it. That's the hard part. It's not, and we have to just, for me, this past year with COVID, I have sat in my chair much more than I should have, because my regular day exercises my muscles and things. And I know that I have become physically weaker over the last year, and it shows up when I tried to get back and do those things that I normally did before. The good thing about it is that I can strengthen my body, but I got to ask it to do more than I did yesterday, and it's gonna be painful, but I'm gonna work through the pain, and my strength will be rebuilt again. That strength is always something that we can renew. As we get older, it's harder and harder to do, but we can renew our strength by that effort. And do you agree with that?
Well, that's absolutely true. Of course it is. There's no other way.
Right.
Mark, I'd just like to say too, I always enjoy the analogy of using a mirror, as the and the way you were talking about, yes, they're a reflection of our ego, but we're supposed to be able to turn it around and realize that they're a reflection of our Christ consciousness, our Christ self, and that we can only see that Christ self if it's being reflected from another, and so I just really enjoy the mirror thing, but it's not just the ego, it's when we can look at it and go, the namaste, may the Christ in me see the Christ in you, because I can't see the Christ in me if I don't see it in you.
That is true. That is the case.
Everyone is the mirror showing us, that, yeah, this is how I truly am. This is how I truly feel. And thank you for bringing that to my awareness. And ego, thank you for showing me my ego.
Yes.
It's like we're always saying, man, I thought, thank you for showing me how far I haven't come yet. Anyway, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, Mark, for coming and sharing with us. I don't know, people are traveling, people are doing things. Our numbers are not as strong as they will be in the future, but as we practice these principles and we share our love and put the light out there, people will be attracted. Those people that that can appreciate what we have to offer will come. I don't worry about that. I don't worry about the numbers of the people in the church or the people on Zoom. The only thing that I have no control over that. The only thing I have any control over at all is the quality of me. The quality of what I am sharing is what I need. I focus on the quality. The quantity will take care of itself, I feel like. Okay, so does anybody else have, you know what I neglected to do, and I don't know why I do this. I must have some sort of a block against things like this, but our statement of faith says, and if y'all want to follow along, it's in the bulletin. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. If we create, every time that we come here and we gather, we create holy sanctuary. We create a holy space by saying a prayer, acknowledging that we are connected through the Spirit and through love, and we actually create. This building is a place for us to come, but it's just a place for us to be. When we come in here and we are able to share with one another our love and our love of God, our love of each other, and those things, it creates a holy space, just like it's talking about. It's holy and it's a sacred space and deserves recognition, and that it is a holy space that we have created, not only because we have designated a holy space, but also because we bring our good things in here and share those good things from ourselves. And so it's great. And we're glad that you came today to be with us and remind us of those things, Mark. We love you. We miss you. We're glad, though, to be able to, for well over a year, we were not able to see you or hear you unless we called you. And now you're able to come in about once or a month or every 6 weeks or so and share with us. And we really, really appreciate that.
Thank you. It's amazing.
Okay. So thank you. And I don't know what prompted you to make that Facebook deal. I appreciated it. That reference to me on Facebook, and I really appreciated it. Thank you. Okay. I think that probably Margaret and Steve have. Celebration of Abundance. I'm going to do that, yes.
Ron, at some point, I have to make an announcement as well.
We're going to have a place for announcements if you'll be patient. You bet.
There's my ego.
There you go. There you go. Now we're going to do our celebration of abundance before we have our song.
Thank you. Yes.
So you got it? Okay, here we go. So let's hold over our heart what we're going to give and say, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive through infinity. I am prosperous. There we go. So there we are. We are not about money, but it does take, money to pay the expenses of our sanctuary. I don't know what that was. Something behind me fell off. Anyway, so if you're unable to be in the sanctuary today and you want to contribute some money towards our sanctuary, please mail it in to 2009 East 13th Street, Farmington, New Mexico, 87401, and it will be received in in the spirit it was given, with love and humility. So thank you very much. Okay, so now we're gonna have Steve and Margaret play us a song.
Wait for the first.
It's 144 in the hymn book.
The showers of blessings sent by the Father of love. Now is the time of expressing bountiful gifts from above. Showers of blessings, showers of blessings to store. Windows of heaven are open. Showers of blessings outpour. Now are the showers of blessings meeting our momently need. Now are the riches of heaven healing our hearts all of greed. Showers of blessings to store. Windows of heaven are open, showers of blessings outpour, bountiful measure fulfilling, pouring upon us, O Lord. Now are the showers of blessings, promises made by the word, showers of blessings. Showers of blessings to store. Windows of heaven are open. Showers of blessings outpour.
Thank you, Margaret. Steve. Thank you. Take you off the hot spot, Mark. All right. I'd like to remind everyone again that tomorrow, the 21st, the solstice, we are having a potluck dinner at the Kiwanis Park on 30th Street from 4 until 8. They'll begin around 4, and whenever you can show up will be the exact right time you're supposed to be there. So we'll probably try to eat around from 5 to 6, somewhere in there maybe. We don't have things nailed down to a specific schedule. We will eat as we're moved by the Spirit. So we just hope that you can come and share with us at the park in the open, and you can wear a mask or you cannot wear a mask. It is up to you. We'll be outside, and I think probably the majority of our congregation is now vaccinated with 2 vaccinations. And if it's certainly, I don't know that it's 100%. I don't know if anything is 100%, but I do know that our chances of catching COVID are greatly reduced if we are vaccinated. So
Masks are welcome.
Masks are welcome. I don't know, we may even take some of our masks here for those that forget them. If they want to wear a mask, we would not make any distinction. We're not segregated by mask wearers or not mask wearers. We love everybody equally that come to us. And so anyway, I thank you. And today we are blessed with having our brother Mike Rose with us. And when Mike is around,
You gotta do the announcements.
I just did the announcements, Steve. Oh, yeah, does anyone have any announcements that they would like to make?
Yes, I put it in the chat, but I'm going to say it also because thank you, Power of Eight and Prayer Circle, whoever else. The grandma who was so ill with COVID and nerve damage and clots in her kidneys. It was horrendous. And I'm sure she came this close to dying. But anyway, I had a conversation with her yesterday at her grandson's splash party, and she is so much better. And she's very, very grateful for our prayers and focused energy from the Power of Eight. So yeah, today she has to do an 8-hour drive back to Denver. So I'm thinking a little prayer in her direction for that, because this will be unique. But yeah, she is just so much more healed than before.
Well, that's great. And it's a good reminder of, we have Course in Miracles on Wednesday night. We have for a long, long time. And those people are still meeting on Zoom. And Susan Barnes is the one who is Barnes Smith, I suppose, is the one who is leading that Course in Miracles. And if you're interested at all in Course in Miracles, please come to the same address. We have one address for all of the activities with our church. So if you have this address, we're able to get here today, you can make the other meetings also. So Wednesday night is Course in Miracles. Thursday night is Power of Eight, led by our own Margaret Cheesebro. And we have, the meetings are all different. Sometimes we have more people than others. We have the same format, however. We always have a list of people who have brought to our attention, people to send light and love to pray for, if you will. That's a form of prayer. Anyway, so we hope that we got about 20 people that we regularly, and it takes some people off, they get healed or they move on, and then others are replaced. But we probably stay around 20 people on that list, and it takes about an hour. The more people, what we're doing, we're multiplying our intention. We're multiplying our love and our ability to send that love out to specific people who need it. And we found that it's fairly effective most of the time. And but you can come and absolutely to join with us in that effort. It is a worthy effort, and it seems to have been successful. And Jenny just gave us another example of an instance where she thought that it was successful. The lady that she spoke about was on our list, and we prayed for her, and she's better. Do we take full credit? No, we do not. We just know that was on our list. We sent her light and love, and she's better. That's all that we know. We certainly don't do any damage, and we probably do some good. So that's really good. Steve, did you have something?
Yes, I just want to thank people for their kindly comments after my little talk last Sunday about my mother. And I just really appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Steve, we were happy to be able to share with you the celebration of your mother's life. And because we love you, we love your mother by proxy. So we thank you for the opportunity to share with you in that special time in your life. So, okay, Mike, does anyone have any other announcements? Or is there anything else we need to talk about? I don't want to rush this thing. Okay, Mike, would you want to do the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic for us?
Sure. Awun dweshmia nith karashmak. Teretemokutha. Nekwe sevion ekanen dweshmia. Bara. Howlin lakma soon kana yomana. Wash wakan howbin. Kanada kanan shaknan il hayuin. Ula tutatlan iniciona. Ela pasan membisha. Mito de la ki malkutha. Uhaila. Utishbukta. La alam. Alamin. Amen. Our Father in universe, hallowed be thy name. Come, thy kingdom. Let be thy wishes, as in universe, so in earth. Give us bread our need today, and release us our offenses, as we release too our offenders. Let us enter into worldliness, but part us from error. For thine is kingdom, power, and glory, from ages to ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Mike. Here we go. Okay. Well, until we can meet again, we bless you and hope and ask that the Lord would keep you. And that, who is that sneaking in there? We're going to let everyone to go and attend to their Father's Day ceremonies, whatever it is that you're going to do. And so I'm just going to stop the recording, and we can still hang around and speak and talk if you want to in an informal setting. So just don't feel like you have to rush off. We can still talk, but I just will stop the official thing. And this will be posted to YouTube, and you will be sent out a link to the YouTube recording. So we thank you, and we'll see you in another week. Goodbye.